Hello Pisces! Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Still in love with it, what can I say? But I'm going to match it up with something different this time. I'm going to use the Energy Oracle cards by... It's right in front of my face. Sandra Ann Taylor. Oh, the schmutz on my thing. Why? Why schmutz? Okay, it's better. Must have been a crumb on the table. Anywho, this is supportive oracle cards. Okay, let's see what we got going on here for Pisces. Okay. Is that the Magician in the Mirror? That makes sense, but we'll get there. I think is that a toy? I don't know what that is, but it's obnoxious. I hope you can't hear it. Sorry about that. Starting off this situation, we've got the Healer of Ages in the environment. There's an opportunity here. There's definitely an opportunity, but it's a situation that's been lacking, I feel like, for a long time. Definitely a situation that's been lacking for a long time. And what I'm getting is it keeps going forward. It's just kind of like, I feel myself questioning, like, how much longer am I going to put up with this? You got the Death card here. Like, how much longer am I going to put up with this? How much longer am I going to go down this road? Something is not working out, and it's kind of like, I feel like the longer I go with it, the longer I do it, the less I like it, the more I'm kind of like, if I just left so many months ago, so many years ago even for some of us, because I'm a Pisces too, if I just walked away from this prior to now, I wouldn't be still kicking this around, having to deal with this. Something I've been putting up with way too long. I keep feeling that. I've been putting up with something way too long. It's lacking. I need to change something. And you're coming forward, for the people that this is really going to click with, you're coming forward to that moment kind of like, all right, I got the Eight of Pentacles here, which is telling me I've got a lot that I've put into this. I've dealt with this for a long time. I know what I'm dealing with. I know what this situation is capable of. And I know it's time for me to make a change. It's whatever this is, you're like, I know it's time for me to make this change. I'm holding off, I'm holding off, I'm holding off, but I know it's time. And I need to do that. The sacral chakras, which coming in the environment, was just telling me that's the sacral is like the home chakra usually, but this is like, it doesn't have to be literal home, it usually is, but something that feels like home to you. Like for some people, their jobs start to feel like home. It seems very comfortable, even though it may not be the best situation, it may feel like that, kind of like I've been here so long, I feel like this is where I fit, where I belong, even though I'm maybe not happy. Take that with a grain of salt. It's usually about, like, you know, family and stuff like that and how you feel taken care of. That's how I usually do. I think some people connect it with intimacy. I think other people consider the base chakra more intimacy. Whatever works for you, I'm fluid with it. I think it depends on how you're experiencing it, honestly. The point is, you know. I feel like you know. If this is clicking with you at this point, you already know what it is you've been putting up with too long. And in the environment, there's something trying to hold you down. There's something trying to hold you back. The envy also says, whoa, wait, Pisces. No, you can't go and then I'm stuck here by myself. No. You can't leave me here by myself. No, if I'm going to be unhappy, you have to be unhappy with me. I can't leave, so since I can't leave, you can't leave. This is some weird energy, kind of like, you can't leave me to take care of this on my own. It's something like that. Somebody's trying to hold you back, kind of like they don't want to be left alone, or by oppressing you. I hate this analogy because I've heard this, and I don't like it when people say it, and I don't think I swear it, some people just don't realize what they're actually saying when they say it. It's kind of like when somebody has ailments and they have problems, and then they hear about somebody else similar to them having more ailments or problems, they feel better about themselves because they're like, well, at least I'm not that bad. And they feel better about that. And I'm just kind of like, I don't think that's a good thing. I really don't. I don't understand how, for example, if somebody punches me in the face, I don't want that to happen. But, if I end up with a black eye and a partially bloody nose and I got swelling and my head hurts, it doesn't make me feel better to see somebody else who was in the same situation with a broken leg and like a concussion. That doesn't make me feel like, oh, well, at least I got off. Like, it doesn't make my head hurt less. It doesn't make the pain less. It doesn't make the problems that I have less. And looking at it that way, because I know some people do, they're like, well, at least it's not as bad as that one. You still, like, that doesn't make your pain less. Like, I just feel like I just don't feel like it's a good thing to do. And I feel like this is what somebody's doing. They're like, well, you got it worse off than me, and I need you to stay here so I can keep feeling better about myself. And it's funny, when I'm seeing this envy, it doesn't even mean that that's actually true. You know what I mean? It's kind of like maybe I got a broken tooth out of the situation and my eye socket broke and I have to have surgery for that. Meanwhile, this other person, they just got to get their arm set, and they'll after a couple of days they'll be able to move on, and they'll just wait for that to heal. And you know what I mean? In my perception, I thought I was better off, but in truth, I'm not. You know what I mean? So it doesn't even mean that that's actually true, but it seems to be that's how they're looking at it. I mean, I know some good people that have that attitude. I don't know how else to say it. Because, everybody has their own spot in evolution of where they're going. So I know some good people with that attitude. I don't really like it. But, take that where you're ready to take it. I don't know where to take that. Anyway. I do feel you releasing yourself from this and having a really hard time with that. Somebody's trying to hold you back, but then I'm getting the heartbreak card here. Broken heart, heartbreak. It's kind of a Three of Swords energy. But I think the reason we have the heartbreak and not the Three of Swords out here is because you may be looking at this person differently once you realize that they're kind of looking down, or it's almost like, they're stepping on you to make themselves feel better. Once you really see that, especially for Pisces, and I'm saying this as a Pisces, like, you don't forget that. You're kind of like, oh, I thought you cared about me, but you literally just like it when I feel bad because that makes you feel better that you don't have it as bad as me. Like, that's not a friend, or that's not somebody who really cares. That's not a good thing. Like, you just want me around because I suffer more than you, and you like that I suffer. That's not love. That's not a good thing. That's not a friendship or anything positive. And I feel like this, ironically, this is a gift. I know that sounds really weird, but it breaks your heart, kind of like, that's literally why you want me around? And it breaks the bond. Breaks it. Kind of like, that's not love. I don't, because if you look at this person, I feel like you look at this person and you're like, I don't feel better about myself when you're doing worse than me. I actually want to help lift you up and bring you up to where I am. I don't want you to stay there just so I feel better. I want to bring you up so you don't feel that bad. Like, and maybe we could help each other, but I don't enjoy you feeling bad. This breaks your heart because you're just like, this isn't right. And I feel like you might even try to talk to that a little bit, but the primal energy comes in. This is I always try to get this across to people, like, every energy has its good and not so good energy. Just because it's the base chakra doesn't mean that's in balance. When the base chakra is out of balance, that's very primal, very, dominating, very controlling, very survival mode, if you will. And I really feel like every chakra can go out of balance. I really do believe that. Because I've heard some people with other ideas, and that's fine. I'm just acknowledging it the way I see it. It's out of balance. Like, they're coming from a primal place. This is how they've learned to survive. It's a bad habit. It's a bad way of living. And this is really breaking your heart. And you're like, you know what? If that's literally how you are, I'm not staying. The Ten of Swords, even though you see this person walking away, and I actually love this card for that, it's walking away from that pain. I especially like the crows on the top, because it's kind of like, it's acknowledgement of the pain. It's like falling flat on your face, realizing somebody is not helping you up, yet laughing at you, and going, this is horrible. I'm realizing what this person really is. they don't want to help me. They just want to make fun of me. I'm here for their enjoyment. The more pain I'm in, the more fun they're having. And I'm going to walk away from this. It's like, it's a horrible moment to fall flat on your face and be in pain and realize that this person doesn't care that I'm in pain. This person is enjoying my pain. And because of that, it's breaking the bond and you're moving away from it. It's kind of like, it's a hard lesson. It's difficult to feel. It's not enjoyable, but it's breaking the system, so you're moving away from it. It's kind of like, this is what it's going to take for you to dismount from the situation, and you are. I know this sounds very grim. Seems to end well. We'll go a little bit farther here. Seems to end well. I'm saying this as a Pisces because I'm just like, gulp. Like, this is not fun. I feel like you're evaluating this, and I feel like you're looking back on a lot of things with this person. You're realizing this person has a lot of toxic behavior, but you're kind of like, you know what? I had to make this decision. I had to move on. And it's hard because you're like, I feel like you're kind of like, I don't see this person as a totally negative person, but I see them with very toxic behavior, and this toxic behavior is just not good for me. I need to keep my distance. And I feel like you're just keeping your distance for a while. That may be exactly how this starts, especially with Pisces energy. Kind of just like, they might invite you to things after this or keep texting you. And I feel like, especially if it's texting, you're just like taking a long time to respond and you're just doing one-word answers. If they're inviting you to things, you're literally finding something else to do and like, sorry, can't, I'm out of town that day. Or sorry, can't, I already said I'd do this with somebody else, even though that might be the case, but you're finding other things to do and you're finding other, you're just avoiding them. For some of you, you just literally might be avoiding it and waiting it out. I feel like they're going to realize, like, this was bad on their part. Like, they treated you a way that didn't work. And it broke your heart, which literally is why you're just not putting up with it anymore. You're dismounting or disengaging it in your own way. Some of you are more flat out to the point. I can be a little bit more brutal personally. Personally, I will just, if somebody really pushes that button with me, I can see myself, like, flat out telling that person, and using some descriptive word, and I am not going to hang out with you anymore because I literally don't like you. I would probably be blunt to the point and just like, stop texting me, stop inviting me to stuff, we're done. Like, I would be kind of probably brutal about it. Because that once I get offended, even though I'm a Pisces, like this fire comes out of me and I'm just kind of like, no, I'm done, and this is why I'm done, and I don't mince words about it. So even though you're a Pisces, like I'm a Pisces, you have your own flavor about how you're going to handle this, and keep that in mind. And they're going to realize, they're going to miss you. But I feel like they need to miss you. I'm trying to be careful with this because I'm definitely connecting to the Pisces energy that I'm feeling, and I'm just like, this is not tolerable. This is no longer acceptable. And they're going to miss you. But again, I feel like they need to. They need to realize, if you can't be a better friend, a better whatever, whoever they were to you, whoever they are to you, maybe they're a family member, but you're like, I'm going to distance myself from you. They need to realize if they're going to, have that toxic behavior, it's unacceptable. Either that, or they're going to pull more people into their lives that resonate with that toxic behavior. And you know what happens when that happens? If you pull people who resonate with toxic behavior, they have their own toxic behaviors. So that's on them if that's what they do. I'm just like all annoyed with it. I'm just kind of like, that's their problem. Because Pisces are not punching bags. We are not. Sometimes I feel like we fall into that trap, but a lot of us, I do feel like a lot of us, once we realize that's what's going on, we're like, oh, we're done. Nope, because that's not love. You don't treat, that's not love. Love is not a punching bag. No. Emotionally or otherwise, that is not love. I don't care what you spin with it. No excuse for it. And I think a lot of us realize that. Nope. Emotional or otherwise. Nope. That's not love. And once a Pisces doesn't feel loved, that breaks the bond. We have no more bond to that person once we're like, no, that's not love. That you don't love me. You want to use me, and I'm not into it. You've got the Page of Cups going with the solar plexus. I like this for the end. I'm really getting, this is breaking your heart, I know, and I'm feeling this as a Pisces. This is a gift to you. This is shutting this down. This is no more toxic behavior. Because sometimes that's what it takes for us as Pisces. We have to have our heart broke, and once we see it for what it is, we're like, no, that's not love. That is not love. And I don't stick around for things that don't have love in them. I don't just hang out because it's in the rules. Pound salt on that. Not doing it. And then we leave, and you're getting stronger. This is a hard experience, but this is making things a lot stronger for you. I also feel, I'm going to go there with this. I used to have a friend who would set me up. It would go over a few months. When I finally would stand my ground and stand up for myself, they would belittle me, make me feel bad, and then I would run to fix the mess they made. And I would feel bad about standing up for myself until I finally realized I had that pattern, which is disgusting, I know. Until I realized I had that pattern, I couldn't break it. I didn't realize what was going on. I knew something wasn't right. I knew I didn't feel right about it. But until I literally saw it, I didn't have this moment. It's a moment where you're not really enjoying it, but you know things are improving. I also want to add, since I broke that pattern, I noticed I'm not willing to do it with other people. I'm very kind of like, I'm looking out for that. I'm like, who's setting me up? Who's trying to belittle me or make me feel bad about myself or saying stupid things? Or like one of the comments I used to get from this person was, no offense, and then slap. I hate that. When somebody says no offense, somebody said, next time somebody says no offense and says an insult, kick them and say no, or say no hurt done, or what does it say? No harm done, and then kick them. Don't really do that. I know that's bad advice. No harm done. Because it's the equivalent, isn't it? Don't really kick somebody. I'm not saying really do that. But, that's the equivalent, isn't it? Like, no harm done, and you kick them. Like, hey, you said no offense, and it still hurt. So I'm going to say no harm done and kick you. You know how I feel now, don't you? Don't really do it. Don't really do it. Don't take my advice on that. I haven't done that. I hope I won't do that. Sometimes I want to, though. When I hear that little caveat, no offense, just kind of like, come here, just come a little closer and I'll cuff you. Because I hate that. I hate that comment, like, no offense. It's like somebody says, I want to be a jerk, but I want to get away with it where you can't really complain about it, so I'll just say no offense first, so I can say my jerk comment and get away with it. I swear, that's what I hear. That's how I take it. All right, are we good? We're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.